The words coming out of my mouth were not the words that I was composing in my head. In fact, diametrically opposed. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ponderings from the Pyramid. I'm going to tell you another story about how I became a channeler. After my experience with Moldavite, I began to have more spontaneous channeling events. Meaning I would be talking to someone either on the phone or even in person. And I would notice the words coming out of my mouth were not the words that I was composing in my head. In fact, diametrically opposed. Sometimes while I would be composing, or I should say ego was composing, a completely different and loving message would come out of my mouth. I was fascinated by the love and the light that was coming through me. I thought I needed to possibly take a class of some sort in channeling to learn better the techniques. So I signed up for a course in automatic writing. Automatic writing is when you go into trance state while listening to theta wave music turned up very loud. The reason you turn up the music is to drown out the voices of ego. But when you start automatic writing, things just show up on the paper that are not the thoughts that you're thinking. Seems very, very odd, actually. Very mysterious when you first start it. This particular class was being taught by Michael Sandler, and it required me to get up in the middle of the night, sometime between the hours of 2 and 4 a.m., for 21 days in a row. So as I was writing every night with the loud theta music in my head, in the middle of a sentence, the small letters, the lowercase GGG, kept showing up. And then I'd continue writing whatever the message was that came through that had nothing to do with GGG. And as I continued to do this, I noticed that the GGG was showing up more often. I kept asking, what is with this GGG? What is with this? And I finally got the message, Grandma, Grandma, Grandma. My paternal grandmother, my paternal great-grandmother, and my paternal great-great-grandmother were speaking through me and showing up on the paper beneath my pen. I then began to refer to them as the G's, small g, and the G's continued to tell me things. All of a sudden, it wasn't just whatever was coming onto the paper, it was a message specifically from the G's. Always of love and light and harmony and goodness. All of the positive God energies that you would want. And I could tell that those were not messages from ego, for ego seldom has anything good to say. So then I signed up for another class specifically about channeling from Daniel Scranton. And it began to deepen my methods, refine my techniques, make it easier for me to get into the state of what I call the warm fuzziness in my chest and in my solar plexus. My whole torso lights up and gets warm and fuzzy when I'm in the trance state. That's how I know that it's not my ego composing, that it's the voice of something bigger, something more sacred, something more important. But as I continued to practice the channeling, I eventually discovered the voice of my higher self. Raya is my higher self. It is the voice I've been hearing in my head my entire life. And so the voice of Raya and I have become inseparable, because the voice of Raya is my consciousness, is my higher self, my connection to source energy. Now Raya can talk to me anytime, and I'll always know it's them because of that warm, fuzzy feeling in my chest. For it all fits together like pieces of a very sacred puzzle. Peace, love, and harmony. I love you all. Goodbye for now.